How's it going, everybody? We got a battle going on today. We have a booster box, we have blister packs, and we have double packs. So I have a full booster box, 24 packs. I have 24 blister packs. I was only able to find 8 double packs. I scoured all the retail stores around me for the last 3 weeks, and none of them stocked any more double packs. So we're just going to have to go with 16 packs in the double packs. So as you can see, I'm weighing all this as well to try to figure out if these blister packs are weighable or if the loose packs themselves are weighable, so you guys can avoid getting scammed in the future. I think it's a general rule of thumb that you shouldn't buy loose packs, but I want to see how valid that is. You can see on the blister packs, I weighed the entire blister pack, then I weighed the pack that was inside, and then I calculated the differential. I'm going to put all this on an Excel spreadsheet just to see how much of a differential there is between all these products. I even weighed the entire double pack with the wrapper on, and then the packs inside, and I even weighed these Dawn packs so I can get an accurate representation for how much everything weighs. All right, I'm not going to waste any more time because we have a lot of packs to go through. You'll have to trust me that I'm not trying to pull one over on you guys. I weighed all this, so I opened it up already, and I weighed all of this to save time because it would take way too long to weigh all this on camera. So you'll just have to trust me on this. And at least with the booster box, we're going in order of lightest to heaviest. So we shouldn't really expect anything. Kobe Leader, Let's Crash This Wedding, Charlotte Linlin. Actually, not a couple good playable cards in there, the X Drake and Linlin. So I'm hoping that Nami Leader, Shirahoshi, and Shirley. Oh, before I forget, I need to put these, because I'm going to do more weighing after the fact, so I need to put these back in the packs that they came from. Because when I was weighing some Japanese OP12 in a previous video, and I found that there is variation even within these common cards. So I'm going to go through on the English version, weigh some of the same cards. Like if I find another Fishman Island, I'm going to weigh both of them, see if there's any variation. Because I noticed even between different cards, but still the commons or the uncommons, there was like a 0.04 or 0.05 gram differential, which doesn't seem like a whole lot, but if you have 10 or 11 cards in a pack, it can add up and it can throw off the total weight whenever we're talking about only, I mean, this is 25.08, 2510, 2510. So when there's small differences between the packs, it's good that the individual cards have some variation in them to prevent you really being able to identify exactly what's inside. But unfortunately, at least with the Japanese packs, it is pretty evident that most of the hits are in the heavier packs. Now, I did find that the SRs in the Japanese product actually weighed more than the Alt Arts and the Alt Art Leader that I pulled. So that was kind of an interesting discovery. I'm curious to see if that happens with the English version. I would imagine that it does. Katakuri Leader. So the biggest, I guess, takeaways from that video, you can go watch it if you want, but I'll give you a quick summary. The heaviest pack in all the boxes that I opened was always the pack with the extra Dawn. And in terms of hits, the SECs weighed the most, then the SRs, and then the Alt Arts, which was interesting to me. I would never have guessed that the SRs actually weighed more than the hits, but I don't have a massive sample size, but I did 5 separate boxes of the Japanese product, and it was the same across all 5 boxes. So there's a Luffy leader. I think it's pretty universally, I guess, known that you shouldn't really buy loose packs, because if somebody was to open a booster box like this and pull all their hits, then they just sell all the other hits that, or all the other packs that don't have hits, or they can obviously weigh them, Jinbei leader, Zeus, or they could weigh them, grab the 10 heaviest packs, and then sell the rest. Because it seems, even with these 10 packs that we've opened, 8 or 10 packs that we've opened so far, we haven't pulled anything. It's either been leaders or double rares. So even if you can't pinpoint exactly which packs have the hits in them, you could definitely kind of hedge your bets and say, oh, I'm just going to weigh the heaviest half, the heaviest 12 packs, and be pretty confident that you're going to get all the hits, and then you just dump the rest of them and sell them. Now, I want to make sure that I'm clear on why I'm doing this, because it's kind of frowned upon in the card collecting community to weigh packs. And I agree, you should never weigh packs if you're planning on selling any of your product in the future. All of this I'm going to be opening now, so there shouldn't be any concern about me selling it. I'm mostly curious if a Shirahoshi leader. The good thing about weighing a booster box is you can get all the leaders out of the way in the first half and make the second half more exciting. I'm more curious if these can be weighed through the blister pack. I hope that they're not, because there's some sets that I haven't been able to open, whether it's some of the old stuff like OP03 or OP04. There's still some blisters lingering around, and I've thought about buying them, but I never really knew if those could be weighable, so I was nervous about buying them because I didn't want to get scammed. And I have a somewhat small sample size here, only 24 blister packs. I know there's other YouTube channels out there. One guy I watch a lot is Card Addicts Anonymous. He does similar videos, so hopefully us pooling together our data, we can come to a solid conclusion on what's weighable. I don't think, I just did this for fun. I wanted to open some double packs, and I figured, okay, I might as well weigh them. I don't know how, with all the extra cardboard and wrapping, I don't think there's any way that those will be weighable, but there was some differentials in the boxes themselves, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with those. There's our first SR, which is interesting because with the Japanese product, in every box that I opened, the SRs came after the alt arts. Now, it very well could just be reversed for the English, where the SRs weigh less. That doesn't mean that it's still not weighable, unfortunately. I would really love to pull this alt art. That's a really cool alt art event card. Another SR. Just for confirmation here, and I weighed these multiple times. So 25.26 was the most recent, 25.25. So pretty close. We got another 25.25. We'll see if we get a third SR in a row. 3 in a row. I actually needed one more of these for a play set. I'm trying to run red-green smoker right now. I'm just getting into playing on the sim. Been playing for about a week or two. The only deck that I've really tried out is red-green smoker and that Kujaku, which unfortunately is going to kind of fade away after OP12. Because I can't remember. There's a GARP SR. I don't think I pulled that one yet. I can't remember. There's a lot of green support in OP12, and I can't remember the exact card. But in the red-green smoker deck, I'm pretty sure a lot of the Japanese players replace that Kujaku with a green searcher. Katakuri SR, that's a pretty good one to pull. All right, so how many was that in a row? Was that 5? Was that 5 SRs in a row? Yeah. 5 SRs in a row, and just for reference, the previous pack was 25.16. We took a jump up to 25.26, and we've kind of hovered right around that 2.6, 2.5, 2.7 range with all the SRs. We have another 2.5 coming up. And then I think there's a 2.7 after that. And I think that would be the SRs for this box. I didn't count the leaders. We should get one towards the end. There's a Nami SR. We should get one more leader toward, or 2 actually, because we got the 2 extra Dons. So I think we have one more SR, 2 hits, 2 Dons would be my guess. And if that's the case, I think it's not clear cut, but I mean, that's as straightforward as it gets, where you just get all your SRs straight in a row, and then the heaviest packs, there's a Jinbei SR. All right, so every single one of the SRs was between 25.25 and 25.27. Not a huge jump, up to 25.28 on both of these, and then 3.3 and 3.3. I would guess these would be the alt arts. If that's the case, we'll save those and we'll go here, because I think these will be with the extra weight of the extra Don. I didn't really expect to get a 3-hit box on this one. My last box was, oh, maybe this is a hit. Lucky Roo, Treasure Rare. I did pull this one. Oh no, I didn't pull this one. I think I bought this one. Let me grab a sleeve for it real quick. Yeah, somebody on Facebook was selling it pretty cheap, and I try to collect all the treasure rares. All right, so I was incorrect in thinking that the alt Dons, or the extra Dons, would be in the 2 heaviest packs. At least that's how it was with the Japanese product. So let's try to open one of the lighter ones and see if that's the case. When we get through to the next set of packs, okay, here we get the alternate Don, or the extra card with the Don in it. All right, that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it's as cut and dry as that. I mean, you have, well, let's see if this is the Don. If this is the Don, then you have the 2 hits are the heaviest, the next 2 are the Dons, and then the SRs. Yep, here we go with the other Don. Well, at least with OP11, I wouldn't buy loose packs. You don't know if they're from a booster box. Even if they're not, even if they're from a blister pack, some people can still open the blister pack and weigh the pack and figure out if they're the heavy packs or not. Now, the interesting part about it, I'll get to it when we get to the blister packs. This should be our second hit. Capone alternate art. Not bad, not great, but I did have a nice box. I got a 3-hit box in my last one, so I can't complain too much. And aside from, I mean, if you're collecting for purely from a monetary value standpoint, this is not high up there at all, but it's a pretty cool card. Shooting the gun through the glass. It's a pretty nice artwork. All right, let's throw this. I shouldn't have thrown it in the sleeve. All right, we're going to set that aside. And we're going to go to the blister packs. So the interesting part about it, this is the lightest blister pack that I weighed, 25.38. And as you can remember, the heaviest booster box pack was 25.33. I weighed each one of these twice. It didn't make any sense. I don't know why that would be the case, but it is. I don't know if they use, I wouldn't think that they would use different packs for a blister pack versus a booster pack, and why it would be such a big discrepancy, because the lightest pack with the booster boxes was 25.08. So you're looking at like a 0.25 differential between the lightest packs in the booster box versus the blister packs. So while the booster box is pretty cut and dry in terms of weighing, I think it's pretty evident that you can weigh them. Why can I get a liter pack at a pack weight of 25.38 when a liter pack in the booster box was 25.08? I don't know. I'm going to weigh, like I said, I'm going to create an Excel spreadsheet of each pack. And I'm not going to weigh every single card, but I'm going to weigh several of these rares and uncommons to see if there's much differential in even the same cards. All right, so that's 2 of the lightest packs, 2 liters. This is about the same weight, so I wouldn't expect much different. Another liter, getting a lot of Lin-Lins. I don't play purple. I've never tried to play purple. I can't remember if that's the Lin-Lin that is pretty popular in purple decks. If it is, maybe I should start a purple deck. All right, we jumped up a couple fractions of a gram, but still a liter pack. It's not a good sign. So for reference, I weighed, these are in order based on the weight of the blister pack. Now you will get some discrepancy. Let me grab 5 and 6 real quick and I'll show you. 5 and 6. So 5 weighed, so they both weighed 37, which is a good comparison here. But one of the packs weighed 25.42 and one weighed 25.27. So I put these in order of how heavy the blister pack was, but that doesn't mean that we're necessarily going in order of the actual pack weight. Another liter. That is it, yeah, 5 in a row, 5 liters. Now this one is 0.15 grams lighter than the last one. So again, you'd expect it to be another liter. Although I would very much appreciate not a liter, because I've gotten a lot of liters so far. Now we have a decent jump. We went up from 27 to 45. So I would guess that this is probably either an SR or an alt art. Or I guess it could potentially be a liter with an extra Don. Nope, just a rare. See, that goes to show that I don't know what I'm talking about. Now the booster pack weights definitely seem to have a pretty readable trend. These don't, and I know it seems fishy that the weight of these packs, another liter pack, this is not, I know I'm doing this for science, but I would like to pull some nice cards as well, and this is a lot of liter packs. That's 7 out of the 8 packs so far have been liters. Granted, that's how many you get in a booster box, so let's hope that that was it. And now we're going to start getting some SRs and some hits, just a regular rare. I was going to go to a few Targets and Barnes & Noble, a couple of retail stores this week to try to get a few more double packs so I could really get a good comparison of all 3 products side by side. Since I only have 8 double packs, I would really like to have had 12. Just another rare. This is a brutal opening so far. I really would have liked to have gotten all the same number of packs, but I'm hoping that early next week I'm going to have a case of Premium Booster 02 Japanese come in. Another liter. Man, I'm not opening these cards very well. You'd think it would be pretty random. I just grabbed them from the hanger at Target, but for whatever reason, I don't feel like I have the best luck on blister packs. People rave about them. People say that they're significantly better than the booster box. But as you can see, my luck is pretty bad when it comes to blister packs. I mean, that's 12 packs in. That must have been at least 9 or 10 liters. And OP11 was the same. I got wrecked by OP11 blisters. I pulled a couple Shanks Alt-Art liters. I pulled the Treasure Rare Zorro. I got some good hits, but overall I opened a lot of it and I did not pull Helmeppo SR, first hit. And that one was 2.54, but it doesn't really mean anything. Oh, because this was our Extra Dawn. So our Extra Dawn was slightly heavier than that one. So if the trend would continue with the booster box, the SRs are lighter, 2.54. So I would need something heavier to get a hit. Whether that's the case, we'll see. Another rare. I think somebody might have weighed these at Target before I picked them up. Although the numbers are different. I mean, we're looking at a 0.2 of a gram difference in the weight, and we're still getting liters across that spectrum. So maybe it's a little bit harder to weigh these. Helmeppo SR. I can only hope, even if I get destroyed by these packs, which I would say that I very much am right now, that at least shed some light on to a problem. This is probably an Extra Dawn. Nope. Yeah, I'm having a harder time understanding the weight difference, whoops, in the blister packs compared to the booster box pack weights. Nami SR. Now this next one is the heaviest by a decent amount, 2.45, and then we have 2.58. So as long as we get 2 hits, at least it's comparable to a booster box. I've definitely pulled more leaders and less SRs than I would if I opened a booster box. Just a Sanji SR. I'm just curious. We have 5.7, 4.6, 5.0, 5.4, 5.3, and the heaviest one is last. But again, that could just be an extra Don. All right, I'm going to try to rip through this somewhat quick because we still have several double packs to open. Jaku SR. The SRs are leaning, so the leaders were more towards the beginning and the SRs are more towards the end in terms of the heavier packs. There were a couple leaders scattered within these heavier packs. Regular rare. I may be the first person to go through 24 blister packs and not even get a hit. Jinbei SR. Not counting SRs as hits, obviously. Some people do, but in terms of this video, when I'm doing a side-by-side comparison, we'll say they aren't. Nami SR. It's not looking good. 2 more packs. No hits. We're going to need some real bangers out of the double packs to save us on this one. Another SR. All right, last pack. Can we go 0 for 24? And this is the heaviest pack. SEC Luffy. Not horrible. Also not great if you're only going to get 1 hit. All right, last up we have the double packs. I think, let's see. Now these are in, let me quickly put these in order so it's easier for us to understand what we're working with. Sorry, I should have done this prior. 20, 32, 30. Let's actually just do it like this. All right, already wasted enough of your time. I don't need to organize them perfectly. Now, for reference, the lightest on this one is 25.12. The lightest on the other ones was in the single digits, and then I think in the 30s for the blister packs. So this is more in line with the booster box. So I would assume that this would be a leader. Nope, just a regular rare. I'm curious what you guys typically do. Whenever I open a bunch of product and I get absolutely wrecked, I try to open a few more just miscellaneous. There's our Nami leader. Miscellaneous products just to see, just to try to break the trend. You guys just call it quits, cut your losses. I just realized that my camera cut off after that last pack. So I did open this one already, and of course it was an alt art Sanji. Pretty cool card. I don't have it. Fortunately, I wasn't on video whenever I was opening it. You'll have to trust me. It came out of a 25.32 pack, and I cut the top off of this one before realizing that my camera, I don't know how to, then you got to figure out how to change that in my settings. If it goes over 30 minutes, it just cuts off. Nami SR. So that hit came out of 25.32. That one was 25.30. The others were 0.15 or so less than that. So it was heavier. Just a regular rare. So with the Japanese that's coming in, I can't recall if this got cut, if I was talking about this when it got cut, but it releases on the 26th, and he's shipping it out to me on the 24th. So I'm hoping I get it early next week. Now the difference with PRBO2, another Kujaku, well, I definitely have multiple play sets of that now. So I'm hoping that I get, the difference between PRBO1 and PRBO2. PRBO1 only had 10 boxes per case. PRBO2 has 20 boxes per case. It'll be interesting to see how the hit rates, we got it, Don, are with 20 boxes. I anticipate that I'm going to open up all of them. I might do a giveaway if I get super lucky and pull Gold Dawn or Manga or SP. I might give away a couple boxes, but I do anticipate giving away at least one of the boxes from the case. I do have one box of Japanese PRBO1 left, so my first video with it, I'll probably just do a side-by-side. One box of PRBO1, one box of PRBO2, just so we can get a taste of what each was like and see how the second one differs from the first. There should be a fair amount of difference. There's still no, I don't think there was ever a rumor prior to PRBO1 that there was going to be a God Pack. There hasn't been any mention of a God Pack in PRBO2. A lot of people online seem to think that there's not going to be one in this one. Only one way to find out. Hopefully, if there is, I'll pull it. I will say, though, my BOA manga will be happy if there is no reprints, because it does tend to decrease the value of the previous mangas when there is the God Pack. Even though the OP11 one will still hold more value, the value does dip slightly when there's a reprint. I think it would be pretty cool if they did a God Pack, but just with Gold Dawn. Some of the Gold Dawn are really cool. SR Nami. Based on what I've seen everybody pull, now granted, people that don't pull anything aren't going to post anything on social media, but the amount of SP Luffys that I've seen pulled, it's a little disheartening to see how little I'm able to pull with the Kobe STC. So that is 2 hits out of, that was 2, 4, 6, 8, 14 packs. So definitely a better hit rate than both of the other products with less. I mean, I have 8 less packs. Maybe that's why I can't find any double packs. And even though I can't find any, I've been to several, of course, another Capone alt art that we pulled in the booster box. I've been to like 5 or 6 restocks. Like I've seen the store being restocked in the last 3 weeks, and in only one of the stores I saw them put out any one piece at all. It was these blister packs. Nobody put out any double packs. I've had these for over a month trying to compile more so I can make this video, and I finally said enough's enough. I just need to make the video. Can we end on a good note? Jinbei SR. Unfortunately not. I would say, and I think everyone would agree with me, that was a proper beating. I won't go over the hits. This video is long enough. I will post a video. I don't know if I'm going to post it at the back half of this one after I get done talking, or in a separate video with the Excel spreadsheet to break down the different card weights, the pack weights, and see if they're, I think the booster box is pretty obvious that you can weigh them, but I'm curious to see what the blister packs will reveal, even though I don't have very many hits to even analyze the data with. So hopefully I can contact someone else that maybe done something similar and we can compile our information. All right, this video has been way long enough. If I post it at the end, thanks for stopping by and thanks for continuing to watch. I appreciate it. And leave a comment if you have any thoughts or opinions on anything we talked about today. Thanks. See you in the next one. All right, let's take a quick look at this Excel document that I created. I don't want to spend too much time on it because unfortunately the evidence is pretty clear. So the first section we have the booster box. In the next section we have the blister packs. We have 24 packs of each. I'm not going to go into the numbers on everything. You can pause it and look over it if you want. I weighed everything because I wanted the information if I needed to go back and dig deeper, but fortunately or unfortunately for me, I didn't have to do that because it is very obvious that this stuff can be weighed. If you look at the booster box, all the liters came from packs 1 through 11. Now these are in ascending order in pack weight. So you can see pack 1 is 25.08 grams and 24 is 25.33. There might be slight discrepancies, 0.01 between a couple of them. They might be a little bit out of order, but the grand scheme of things is all the liter packs came in the first 11 packs, and all the hits, the SRs, and the alt arts came in the bottom half. So one correction, all the liters didn't come in the first 11 because you do have those extra dons. Those came in the third to last and fourth to last pack. I thought the booster box was really interesting how clear cut it was. I mean, you had 7 SRs in a row, then the 2 extra dons in a row, and then the 2 hits for the heaviest packs. And then if we go down to the blister packs, it's a similar trend. So I have an extra column for this because I weighed the package of the blister pack and then I weighed the pack separately. So the order on this one is of the blister pack, because if somebody was going to weigh this and sell this, I want to know if the blister pack itself could be weighed. So it should be an ascending order of how much the blister pack weighs. And you'll notice with the pack weight, the actual packaging of the blister pack does vary. So you'll notice that some of the pack weights are kind of scrambled around because the packaging does vary a decent amount. But the trend continues. If you have a light blister pack, and I think, well, let's see, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6 lightest blister packs all had liters in it. We have a couple outliers like pack 16 that had a liter pack and it kind of fell within the SRs. You have pack 20 that just had 2 rares in it, but it somehow fell in between the SRs. But again, the heaviest pack was the, well, in this case, the SEC. And another thing that was interesting, I did this with 5 boxes of Japanese OP12, and I found that the alt arts weighed less than the SRs, and the SRs weighed less than the SECs. And with the English version, consistently, the SRs weigh less than the alt arts, and the alt arts weigh less than the SECs. So I thought that was an interesting trend. and an interesting difference between the Japanese and English. I don't have hundreds and hundreds of packs to go off of. This is somewhat small of a sample size, but the trend line seems to be very tight with the results of this. So I'll continue to do this with other products. But I think with OP11, it's pretty clear I would not buy any loose packs. I don't even think I would buy any blister packs from anybody because they can definitely be weighed. Even if there's slight variation in the packaging weight, you can see from the chart that the lighter packs, they're going to have leader packs or double rares. In the heavier packs, you'll get an SR or an alt art. I just want to throw this last thing up here, the double packs that I opened. This one's a little bit more confusing because I have a bunch of colors going on. I tried to color code it. So pack 1 and 2 came from the double pack 1. Pack 3 and 4 came from the second double pack. Again, don't worry so much about the numbers. I just added everything in case I needed to go back. This one, I think you can comfortably purchase double packs from other people because of the variance that you'll get with the two packs could vary a lot. For instance, now double pack 1, it has 2 light packs in it. So if it's super light, someone probably could weigh that and there could be a leader. But it's difficult because if you go down to the second green column, packs 7 and 8, you have a really light pack. It wasn't a leader pack at this time, but it was super light pack. But then you have a moderate pack, and I pulled an SR in that one. So, and then it was my one. I had 2 hits in this one. So I had an alt art that came in pack 4. You can see that weighed 2.27. It came in the second to lightest pack. And then I pulled another alt art that came in the second to heaviest pack. And I had an SEC that came in the middle. So I think the double packs are safe to buy from other people. That might be why they're so hard to find in the store. People want to buy those more than anything else. I have a hard time finding them. They seem to be your safest bet. If you have any questions about any of this information, please let me know. I can dive deeper into certain things. And the last point that I wanted to make, I almost forgot about this. If you notice, I'm going to go back to the booster box and blister packs. The pack weights are noticeably different. Like the lightest booster box pack was 25.08 grams, and the lightest blister pack, like the actual pack, not the cardboard glue on the outside part, was 25.38. So a difference of 0.3 grams. That's significant. So I weighed a lot. I weighed a lot of single cards. I weighed hollow rares. I weighed the hollow rares with the gold border, commons, event commons, stage commons to see if there was much variation. And there was definitely variation. So I took a card that I got 10 copies over all these packs that I've opened. And there was a variation of roughly 0.04 to 0.06 grams per card. So there could be a differential of 0.05 grams between one caribou and another caribou card. And it doesn't seem that significant, but when you have 10 common cards in a deck, it can add up. I mean, if you had 10 cards that all weighed heavier than their counterpart, you're looking at 0.5 of a gram heavier. So there is some variation between the cards, but it's not enough. It's clear that it doesn't make a difference in being able to weigh the packs. But what I was getting at before I kind of got on a tangent is the blister packs weighed more. For whatever reason, I weighed a lot of cards to figure this out. The blister pack cards, the same exact variant of card that you can find in the booster box, they weighed more every single time. I weighed probably 75 single cards, and the variance was 0.02 to 0.06 grams heavier every single time. There was not one card that I weighed that came from a blister pack that weighed less than a card from a booster box. I don't know how that's possible. I can't imagine that they're printing the cards differently, but to go 75 and 0 for the blister pack cards to be heavier, I don't know what that's about. I've never gone that deep into the woods of weighing cards, and I'm going to do it in the future because that seems unusual. But that's a topic for another time. I kind of like digging deep into this stuff, creating Excel sheets. If you're similar, reach out to me. We can kind of discuss certain things. If you've found anything interesting with your openings, please reach out. And again, please don't buy product to weigh, to sell. This is purely for just your information and to help guide you in buying product. Please do not buy loose packs. Do not buy blister packs. If you're going to buy secondhand product, buy sealed boxes, buy sealed double packs, or just buy the singles. If you guys have any questions, leave it in the comments and I'll be happy to get back to you. Thanks for sticking around. This was a really long video. I'm going to have Premium Booster 02 coming. I'm going to do the same kind of weighing scenarios in that one too. So if you like it, let me know and I'll keep it up. Thanks. See you in the next one.